Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your October 2023 Astro-Tarot with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign, though if you're only going to watch one, make sure it is for your ascendant because it's going to be the most accurate for you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody. That is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So, if you would like to get a personal reading with me, you can do so on the link in the description box below. And obviously we are going to get into it. So I'm going to pop these here. Those will be for your moons, your lunations. And here we're going to look at the first, or should I say the biggest 4 transits that I wanted to take a look at for you guys over the course of the month. So on the 3rd of October, Mars is going to come into a conjunction with the South Node. It's happening in the sign of Libra, which for you occupies the 11th house. Now, the sign of Libra is all about relationships, balancing things out. It's about really resolving conflict in some way, shape or form. It really is about balancing out the equation, right? That's why Libra has the scales, among a million other reasons. That being said, Mars is passion, energy, excitation. It is irritation, right? It's annoyance, it's war, it's that fucking pebble in your shoe that pisses you off, like that kind of irritation where you just right, and it wants as my dear friend Heather says, it wants what it wants when it wants it. The South Node is all about release, removal. It's about what we're moving away from on a collective level, but also on a personal level. And the South Node is also elimination and excretion. It's where something has to be removed in order for us to pursue whatever our North Node is facing at any given moment. Now, this is happening for you in the 11th house, which means some kind of friendships or group connections may be being released at this time. There could be friendships that you're letting go of. This could be partnerships and friendships that you've had for a long time. You could be releasing them, right? The way that I saw this when I was looking at the transit as part of the wheel, I had this image of scissors. And what happens with scissors, you cut around something and you remove what is superfluous. When it comes to your friendships, when it comes to your higher aspirational goals and ambitions for your future, this could be you releasing that. It could be maybe even potentially letting go of some kind of group collaboration or connection, maybe something to do with social media as well. Now, one way I see this potentially showing up for a lot of you is like you decide to let go of something that has been a long-term future goal. So it's like you have wanted to do this thing for the longest time and it just hasn't got to where you wanted it to be. It just hasn't materialized. And you say, you know what? I'm going to take the energy out of that and I'm going to put it into other things now. It could be where you decide to remove the energy from that place into something completely new. Now, Mars rules your 12th house and your 5th house, which means you might complete an old project at this time and have it like ready to release out to the world, or you could just be really, ready to focus on your more sexual and sensual outlook. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like maybe you say to yourself, actually, you know what? This energy can be put better spent elsewhere. Spent being the operative word. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. I know, naughty Raffy. So you got the Temperance card. So that is you as a Sagittarius. You got this with the Ace of Pentacles. I actually love this. And you've got this with the Two of Cups. So for some of you, this energy could actually bring, especially because of what it's about, like when I was talking about friendships, this could be the elimination of the shit on a friendship, right? Let's say you've had a problem or an issue with a group or an association or even just in a friendship tie. And this could be where you let that go, where you release it and kind of say, okay, you know what? Well, rather than get rid of the friendship, let's get rid of the thing that's annoying or the shoe in the pebble in the shoe of the friendship. The fact that you have the Ace of Pentacles with the Two of Cups, this is a fresh start in some regard. And with the Temperance card, this is you deciding to give yourself more peace and more grace around a certain situation. And for others of you, the finish line on something that you have been working on for a very long time is finally in sight. On the 9th of October, Venus, the lady of love, pleasure, joy, romance, connection, harmony, diplomacy, finances, money, and did I say luxury? Well, I'm going to say luxury again. All right, is coming into the sign of Virgo. Virgo occupies the 10th house of your chart. Venus is a sweetener, right? So wherever she comes into, and she's coming into the most public sector of your chart, the most visible part of you, she's allowing you to shine, to gain some kind of recognition. Venus is our talents as well. So she could really highlight the talents that you have within your specific chosen field at this time. It's about a 4-ish week transit, give or take. This is a breath of fresh air for everybody because it's finally moving out of the sign of Leo, which I'm sure it's done good things for all of us in some way, but in others, I gotta be honest with you, that Venus retrograde sucked. Like, it sucked, and not even like... enough with the smutty puns, Raph. I was going to say, and not even in a good way. You've got a lot of people like, what is going on with Raph at the minute? So the other thing as well, this could be blessings or material nudges that show up from the universe at this time, because Venus is the ruler of your 6th house and your 11th house. So it's like whatever you release early in the month because of that sort of South Node Martian connection in Libra, it's like the energy, it's then like something is replaced and new avenues open up, greater blessings, higher ambitions that show more promise in a fraction of the time that this, so whatever that big thing is that you're working on that you say, you know what, it's time to knock it on the head and I'm done with that. This could literally be that you start something new and it almost like blows up and you're like, wow, you know, what was the difference? Well, there could be many different. Sometimes it's timing, sometimes it's destiny, sometimes it's fate, sometimes it's situation, sometimes it's the people that you're attached to. There are a million other reasons that it could be, right? But I really like this because it's like something moves very quickly, and because it's in the house of your social status and public status, which for you really is about service to the world, because you have Virgo in that 10th house, you could really start to understand like, yes, this is what I'm here for. This is my purpose, and you're gaining traction with it. And it feels good. Like I said, this is only, it's going to be like a month worth of a transit, but I think this is like a very strong start energy. So you got the Knight of Swords with this, so you are going to be busy around this time and from this time forward. But then you've got the Four of Swords. There's a feeling there with driving with the brakes on, and you've also got the Justice card, right? So you've got a lot of Libran energy that shows up for you here in around this this Venus transit, which is really interesting because you obviously had the activation of the 11th house, excuse me, which was Libran stuff for you as well. Now, the Four of Swords with Justice, okay, the Knight of Swords with the Four of Swords, that's a lot of air as well, by the way, so we're going to talk about that in a moment. The Knight of Swords with the Four of Swords, that driving with the brakes on, there's something that you are pushing for that, quite frankly, may be able to wait. The results are going to show up on their own. You don't need to shove them. This is kind of like the equivalent of, you know, when you're going downhill on a bike, you don't pedal even more, right? Like if you've already started pedaling and you're going downhill, usually it's the same with a car. You just let the momentum take you because it's kind of fun, right? To freeload it or freeball it or... I don't know what is wrong with me today, but I apologize. Sagittarius is coming out with all of this horny energy. I don't know what's going on with you guys, and my seat is dipping down there. But yeah, I blame you guys. There's something going on with something funky going on with the Saggy energy at the minute. You guys need to behave yourselves with your feisty sexual energies all up in the air. So what? Oh my god. So what and the Four of Swords with the Justice card, right? There's a contract here or a commitment that you are like ready to make, but that Four of Swords suggests one of two things. Either there is a delay in the contract being signed, or you are being urged to slow down for a minute. And the Knight of Swords is a very fast card. So this whole thing about driving with the brakes on, maybe the universe is trying to slow you down for a reason. I don't see anything horrible or nefarious here. I do, however, feel like you might be moving too quickly on something. And because all of this is air, you're so in your head, right? Justice is Libra ruled. The Four of Swords is a swords card, therefore it's air, and it actually pertains to the energy of Libra. And the Knight of Swords is also an air sign. An air energy. So it's like you're very in your head about the way something should be at the moment. On the 12th of October, Mars is going to come into Scorpio. Now, Mars moving into Scorpio is strong there because Mars is the original ruler of Scorpio. So it's already coming into a lot of power, and moving into the 12th house, it can bring a lot more. One thing that I've noticed for myself, I don't know whether this is true for other people, but when Mars moves through the 12th, it tends to bring a lot of very intense dreams, a lot of very vivid dreams, and sometimes a lot of very violent dreams. It can also potentially make it hard to sleep at this time, so keep that in mind. And if that is the case, do something physical to burn off the excess energy so that you can actually get to sleep and have good quality rest. It might also excite some of your personal challenges that stem from issues that you've got on a deeper level, meaning it can exacerbate some of your personal bad habits or self-sabotaging tendencies. Very, very possible, right? Not only that, but also it could be someone that has been, maybe you've had like a silent enemy in the background. They could make themselves known, or you see somebody for who they actually are, and it's like it can't be ignored anymore. You kind of see someone and say, you know what, I don't think this person has my best interests at heart, or you know, they say one thing and then like as I'm like hearing them talk, they say, you know, it sounds like another. I think there's going to be a lot of clarity around who's honest with you at this time. Probably the most challenging place to have Mars besides the other deep spaces of the chart, like the 4th and the 8th. For me personally, I mean, that's how I see this. For this, you've got the 5 of Swords. Look, if there is an old argument, one that you just don't seem to be able to get past, or some kind of verbal fixation where you go over and over on something, it'll likely come up at this time. You've got this with the 7 of Swords. You are going to catch someone in a lie this month. Around this time as well, and you've got the Moon card. It will come to light, and you are definitely seeing someone or something without the rose-tinted glasses. Okay, I've got to be honest with you, it's like a 5-6 week transit, but it starts here on the 12th of October. And I gotta say, you know, with these cards, it does suggest you're catching someone in a very big lie. And you are not going to be here for it. And what's worse, Sagittarius is one of the signs that is all about truth. So to see or have somebody lie to you so blatantly or blithely or in a way that feels kind of very fucking offensive. Yeah, I've seen Saggies when they are in a rage, and it is not pretty. People always talk about like, oh, Aries and Capricorn. I mean, Capricorn, yes. Right, and Scorpio. All the signs get angry. Everyone gets angry. It's a human emotion, right? And actually, if you can channel that emotion, it can do some amazing things. But when you see a Saggy really lose their shit, it's actually quite scary. I just gotta say. Anyway, maybe that's just my experience. On October the 24th, Moon comes into a conjunction with Saturn, and both of these planets are going to trine the Sun. So Moon conjunct Saturn at 0 degrees of Pisces. And then, yes, the Moon will conjunct Saturn at 0 degrees of Pisces. The Sun will be at 0 degrees of Scorpio. And Mercury will be at 3 degrees of Scorpio. So this is a lot of energy happening between the 4th house and the 12th house, two of the deep spaces within the chart. What matters here is that you really get honest with yourself about what you want, and then you take time to understand what's possible. The Sun in your 12th house is shining a light on all the spaces around you and within you that you don't usually see. So things are being highlighted to you at this point, right? Mars coming into the 12th is definitely going to create the itch for you to discover that something is not quite right, and we can see that there with those cards. I'm really sorry, but ooh, okay. pay attention. With the trine to Saturn and the moon in the fourth, there's a chance that you get a reality check through the home and family that really helps you understand what your greatest fears are. And those might be that the burdens that you face are beyond your control in some way, shape or form. Breathe through it. Even though it's a trine, because of the spaces that are involved and the planets that are involved, it will clear the way, absolutely. But this is like taking an emotional laxative in some regard, I'm sorry to say. For this, you've got the Five of Cups with the Five of Wands, okay, and the Judgment card. So the oh God, my brain has gone completely blank. So you've got the Five of Cups with the Five of Wands. But on top of that, you've got the Five of Swords here, right? So 3 fives is determination. And so there is a determined element here. Maybe whatever information comes to light sort of slightly earlier in the month, you set about really doing something about, or removing or releasing something here at the end of the month. And like I said, because, you know, when I say an emotional laxative, think about it. This is trine energy. So trine is easy, it's smooth. It's like finally something is able to be released, removed, or eliminated in some regard. You've got the Five of Cups, which represents loss and mourning. The Five of Wands, which can represent arguments and bust-ups. That Five of Wands falls on top of the Seven of Swords, which means that this whole thing, whatever lie you're discovering here, you know, in that third transit of Mars moving through the sign of Scorpio, it will carry over into the end part of the month, but at that point it will be like a toilet flush where something is removed. And because you've got the Judgment card here, whatever this is, it creates a huge ripple of change. There's going to be something here. There's like a domino effect going on here for you guys, especially. Really very powerful stuff. The other thing with that Five of Wands and the Judgment card, I wouldn't be surprised if you are either connecting or reconnecting with an old bunch of friends, or maybe even like an old spiritual group of some sort that you have been aligned to or connected with, and it actually has very good implications for your future. Like, it will be really easy for you to slot back into this collective. So, whew, an interesting month. On the 14th of on the 14th of October. Sorry, I was just looking at my calendar there. We've got the new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Libra, which for you is in that 11th house. You've got the gate 4 and answer. This is a message, and it's not, so this isn't like a prediction. This is always an instruction. When it comes to this area of your life, in terms of the eclipse, maybe the day before, the day of, and the day after, formulate a question around that 11th house for yourself and ask the universe what it is that you like, for what it is that you want to do, right? So maybe you say, right, you know what, my highest goal and aspiration or ambition for the future is to, I don't know, off the top of my head, buy a home, right? You ask the question and you say to the universe, this is what I want, this is my desire, how do I go about getting it? And then you wait for the answers to come from the manifest physical world. All right, like it can't just be like a feeling or an intuition or whatever. It has to come from the physical world. The full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Taurus for you is happening in your 6th house on the 28th. Yes, it's the 28th. On the 28th of October, it's happening in your 6th house. The gate 30 and holding, this is about going after what it is that you really want, which means in the 6th house, your day-to-day work habits, health routines, your personal rituals, even your daily grind, you have to hold strong and keep not even keep the faith, but keep the momentum with the things that you're doing. It's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic month. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. If you want to get your personal one-to-one Astro-Tarot session with me. We're going to sit, we're going to look at your chart, we're going to look at, we're going to pull cards for your transits and see what's going on. You can get that on the link in the description box below. Having a lot of fun doing this right now. So if you want to get yours, you know, on a personal level, you know what to do. With that said, take care and I'll see you soon.